Okay, now time is 6:02. I want to get the meeting started. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sun Kwong Si with Community Affairs. Thank you for joining us this update on the Upper San Leandro Water Treatment Plant project. The project is an important investment in maintaining safe, reliable water service for our community. The project timeline has been extended to ensure the work is completed safely and to the highest standard. Tonight's meeting, Noe Mazer, our project manager, will share an overview with the project's progress, the updated schedule, and also the next steps. After the presentation, we'll open it up for your questions. We will be using the Q&A function on Zoom for questions, so please type them in at any time during the presentation. We will do our best to address as many as we can before the meeting ends. The meeting is recorded, and the recording will be available on the project webpage for anyone who wants to review it later. If you have concerns that aren't directly related to the project schedule or construction, we'll be happy to connect you with the right staff after the meeting. With that, I will turn it over to Noe to get us started.
Thank you, Sun Kwong. My name is Noe Meza. I am the project manager for the Upper San Leandro Water Treatment Plant Maintenance and Reliabilities Improvements Project. So today we will be talking about the project scope, giving a project update, going over the project schedule, project impacts, and any next steps. First, starting off with a little bit of the history of the Upper San Leandro Water Treatment Plant. The USL Water Treatment Plant is one of 6 water treatment plants operated by EBMUD, which collectively provides high quality drinking water to 1.4 million East Bay customers. The Upper San Leandro Water Treatment Plant was originally built in 1927, with some major improvements occurring in 1969 and 1999. In 1969, that was when filters were added to the treatment plant, and in 1999, the original ozone system was constructed in the new chemical building. In 2018, we had a update to that ozone system, and in 2022, we had a control systems improvement project. So as you can see, we haven't done any major upgrades to the plant since 1969. So this project is completing some much needed updates to the treatment plant. All right, project goals. This project is removing capacity limitations here at the USL water treatment plant. The plant is rated for 60 MGD and is currently only capable of sustainably operating at 45 MGD, million gallons a day. That is the main driver for this project. However, we are also updating aging infrastructure by rehabbing older, clear well roofs. That's our water storage area and power distribution systems here at the treatment plant. This project also improves seismic reliability. We want this plant to be able to operate reliably through any issues such as large earthquakes on the Hayward Fault. We are also performing chemical safety and reliability improvements on the project. These are to improve the safety of surrounding the chemicals that we use, making the area safer for workers, the treatment plant, and by extension, the public. Here's a quick overview of the USL water treatment plant. As you can see, work is taking place almost in all corners of the plant. this is, like I mentioned, a large project that, providing much needed updates. So project update. Overall, we have completed about 60% of the work, the scope of work of this project. The contractor is demobilizing out of many of the areas. We are expecting a reduction in the remaining construction noise. And as far as upcoming work, we have a raw water control valve on the southwest corner of the plant, the electrical power building, a clear well roof that we're replacing, chlorine contact basing, and some additional site restoration activities. So going back to the site plan, the areas that are shaded in red now are what has been completely finished on this project. There, as you can see, most of the work is now kind of concentrated towards the center with the chlorine contact basin, the clear well roof, the chemical system improvements. There is a little bit of work, like I mentioned, the power building to the left-hand side of the screen there, and the raw water control valve, as you can see towards the bottom. So project schedule, as you can see, currently in October 2025, the work duration has changed. We were expecting the contract to be completed by November 2026. However, the project got off to a slow start, but the work duration hasn't changed. It's just shifted. And this extension is in order to complete the project safely and to the highest standard. There are some, sorry, I was jumping ahead. Okay. Some remaining impacts on the project. We do expect occasional extended work hours and weekend work, although that should be reduced at this point in the project. We also expect a lower number of trucks in the road since we are now to the bottom of the excavation on the CCB, chlorine contact basin. And we also expect a reduction in the remaining noise since a lot of the coding work is now completed. And again, to summarize the benefits of the upgrade that we're doing, we're rehabilitating aging infrastructure. We're improving overall safety in the treatment plant and increasing resiliency for large earthquakes so that we're still able to deliver reliable water to our customers. USL is a very important and critical water source for Oakland and this community in particular. And so we're doing our best to, provide those much needed updates to the USL water treatment plant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Noe, for the presentation. So at this point, I want to open it up for question. Again, we are using the Q&A function of the Zoom meeting. So everyone, if you have a question want to ask us, please type it in and then we will address it. So while we are waiting for people to give us some questions, Noe, how about explain a little bit more about the USL water treatment plant? So what is the role of this treatment plant? And then why do we want to expand the capacity from 45 to 6 MGD? And if you can also explain what MGD is.
Thank you, Sun Kwong. Yes, MGD is million gallons a day. And part of the issue that we're trying to address here is that the plant currently is only able to produce about 45 million gallons a day. And so we're removing some of the limitations that it had. And we're expecting that number to go up to 60 million gallons a day. You know, I can't pinpoint exactly how many customers that is, but you know, overall, East EBMUD serves 1.4 million customers, and this is just a component that is servicing that as well.
I see. So one thing that you mentioned is about the seismic retrofit and then to prepare the water treatment plant for earthquake. So what is the role of USL compared to our other water treatment plant, and then why this um, work is important to make it withstand the earthquake impact?
So the USL water treatment plant does provide service for Oakland and kind of this, you know, San Leandro area. So we want to make sure that we're able to withstand any large earthquakes. If we were to have some sort of um, failure of our other treatment plants, we want to make sure that ours here is reliable and is still able to produce water.
So when you talk about the work in the treatment plant, there was one thing that you mentioned is a clear well roof is one of the main work that we are continue to doing right now. What is a clear well?
So the clear well here at the USL water treatment plant is basically just a large water storage area. I don't know if you want to go back to the site map, but it, it was kind of a rectangular um, uh,
So
square or
yes.
rectangle on like the northeast side of the plant. It's just where we store our water, and we're able to keep it there for before it goes out to the customers.
So is the large area red
Yes.
on the screen? Okay, so that area. I think one of the main concerns that people have, especially now the timeline is extended, is about the noise impact. I know you mentioned a little bit that the construction noise is reduced. Could you explain a little bit more so people will know?
Yes. So with being about 60% done, um, the tanks that are there on the right-hand side were mostly out of that area. There was a lot of recoding work that was involved. That's usually very noisy uh, activities. So most of that area is done. So that is expected to be, you know, a lesser um, impact. Also, the chlorine contact basin, there was a lot of excavation. Same thing, you know, with the jackhammering, stuff like that. We're now to the bottom of the excavation. So the expectation is that, you know, the work that is going to be done to reconstruct the CCB is also going to have less of an impact.
So let me recap what you just say. So in this slide, the red area, which is closer to the neighbors, is done. And those are the more louder, noisier work before. And we will see some reduction in the construction noise that compared to more like normal type of noise and not those very loud noise. Am I correct? A-
That's fair.
And also the work seems to be going back into more center in the water treatment plant so that it will be a little bit farther away from the neighbors. So that could also help to reduce the noise, I hope.
Yeah, that's our expectation as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. At this time, I also want to let people know that if you have any concern about noise or any issues that with our construction, feel free to contact us. So both Noe and I can help to investigate the problem and find ways to mitigate it. So my email is constructionsouth, is with a dash, construction-south at ebmud.com. And then my phone number is 510-287-0544. You can find all those information on our webpage. Okay. So I also want to remind people that please use the Q&A function in the Zoom to type in your questions, and then we will try to answer your question as much as we can. So Noe, while we are waiting for some more questions, I also want to ask you another questions about what I hear from the neighbors. They're concerned about trucks and sometimes some early morning noise. So what is your plan to address those?
Yeah, thank you, Sung Pong. So as far as early morning noise, the contractors do arrive, uh, pretty early to the treatment plant. Sometimes they create some noise, while they're waiting to enter the site. We are working to address that, making sure that they get in to the treatment plant, as fast as we can. Um, Also, some of the work that has started early in the past is now uh, completed. And so we're now confined more towards that center of the plant area. Um, and as I mentioned before, the truck traffic that we've seen should be reduced now that we're down to the bottom of that excavation, which was where we were um, producing a lot of excess soil that we were taking off the plant. So,
So I know that you mentioned to me that if there is anything particular that is concerning the neighborhood, we will send out notification to people as advanced as possible.
yes, we will continue to do that.
Okay. So you mentioned that the chemical system is being upgraded, and then that actually can help to improve the safety for not just the worker, but also for the public. Can you elaborate a little bit more about why we need to do that upgrade, and then how does it make it safer for the plant?
Yes, thank you, Sun Kwang. So the reason for the upgrade, I mentioned it earlier that we had some aging infrastructure on the plant. We had some older tanks, piping that had some wear. So part of this project was to replace all of that infrastructure. One example is the piping is now uh, this double-walled HDPE pipe, which the way it works is that it's basically a pipe within a pipe, and if there's any leaks on the interior pipe, the secondary pipe will contain it. And so that's just an example of the sort of safety improvement that we're providing here. That will keep anybody that's working on the system, safe. And by replacing all of these components, we're improving the overall safety of the system, and making it safer in general for the treatment plant.
So I see that there is still couple of area besides the clear well is still undergo work. I think that those are the core area. Can you talk a little bit more about what are those areas and why the work we are doing now?
Yes. So you mentioned the clear wall. The main component there is we're replacing the roof and some mixers inside the clear wall. As you go a little bit to the left there, the chlorine contact basin, that's a new um, uh, structure that we're building to provide more contact time for the water that is being treated. Like I said, we got to the bottom of the excavation, and now we're building up the structure there, the basin. Other remaining work in the chemical safety improvement, we completed the temporary chemical system, which allows us to work on the permanent. Basically, we shift the chemicals to that temporary facility so that we're able to do our work. And when we're done, we're going to shift it back to the permanent. And then as far as the other areas, I mentioned the power building, which is a critical component of the treatment plant. We're improving the electrical reliability of the plant by adding that new power building there on the left-hand side. And then we are on the right-hand side, so there's a tank that's not shaded, that is circled in red, I guess, outlined in red. That's a new gravity thickener that we're adding as part of our wash water basin area. Basically, it's used to um, thicken some of the sediment that is captured by those tanks.
So sorry to cut you off. So all these things is to improve the reliability of our facility. And as you mentioned, the plant has not done any major upgrade for a while. So that is important for us to do it.
Yes, since no major upgrades since 1969, and the plant was constructed in 1927, so a lot of these components are nearly 100 years old.
Okay. So we have a question about our perimeter that we have some trees to shield the plant. But right now, I think because of the construction work, so some of the tree may be removed. Do you think how soon can we replace those trees? Or when is the best time to do that?
So, planting trees too early, can sometimes be, cause several problems during a construction project. We are expecting to do some replanting, but it will be towards the end of the project. Um, there's some risk involved with with doing so too early. Um, there might be even some work that's going on in the area, and if we go and replant trees, we might end up needing to move them due to other underground utilities that we might be excavating near the new trees, and we might damage the roots, and then it would kind of defeat the purpose of replanting. And so, if we do replant too early, we run that risk that they might die or, like I said, relocate, and that would be, wasting our resources there with doubling costs and effort on those replanting activities. So the best timing that can be done is planting these trees towards the end of the construction. Once we're out of the area, the soil and landscape are stable, and we're able to kind of leave them alone to take root. If there are additional questions on that, we're happy to address them. please reach out to Sun Kwang and, we can address those directly.
Okay, so I think as you mentioned, we are happy to talk a little bit more with the question about trees, and then we will also reach out to the residents with the questions about that. So I think at this time, I want to conclude our meeting, and thank you, Noe, and thank you for everyone who joined us this evening. We appreciate your time, your questions, and your continued interest in the Upper San Leandro Water Treatment Plant project. We know this work impacts the community, and we were committed to keeping you informed as the project moves forward. So if there is anything we didn't get to your question tonight, or if you have concerns that need individual follow-up, please reach out to us directly. As I mentioned before, the email is construction-south@ebmud.com, or you can call me at 510-287-0544.